Yo, what's up, guys? It's GZTV back with my last YouTube video of the day. And by the way, tomorrow we're not going to be reviewing an episode of The Boys. Again, we're taking a break from that series. I didn't really have time to watch any. But we always find time for Breaking Bad. I mean, I don't want the show to get over with, but I'm kind of ready to see how Breaking Bad ends, and then we can get into the Better Call Saul stuff, the origin story. This is the last YouTube video of the day, but don't worry, throughout the weekend, I'm off Friday and Saturday, tomorrow and the next day, so be on the lookout. We might have a Babytron, a Young Boy, and a Calvin Harris album review on the way. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do a live album reaction to any of them. They're not really an important enough artist to me. So, Blood Money, the Breaking Bad record. I was talking about music and it got mixed in my head. Blood Money, the Breaking Bad episode. That is the form of media we have for TV shows. So, you know, we're getting into some crazy shit on this show. We're going to be talking about the plot, and we're going to be talking about what people think and what I think personally, kind of bouncing my ideas off of others. Yeah, so in a flash forward, a 52-year-old Walter White arrives at his abandoned, dilapidated, and fenced-off house. So kind of some foreshadowing. I don't know if I necessarily like when TV shows do this, but I think it's cool because I kind of expected him to leave his house. Like, he's going to leave his house eventually, and I watched episode 10 today, and he hasn't done that yet. Maybe he does it after the show's over. Maybe they're showing these flash forwards. That would be very Breaking Bad-esque. That would be a very smart touch to show a 52-year-old Walter White. This is a year, after, the episode where Skyler, jumped in the pool and tried to drown herself. It's a year after that is when this, pre-credits. And by the way, this show has the best pre-credits of all time. I mean, it is one of the best, if not the best TV show of all time anyway, but there's so many aspects that make it good, and the pre-credit scene is definitely one of them. Dilapidated, fenced-off house. He enters and sees Heisenberg spray-painted on the living room wall. Kind of insane. People know he's Heisenberg. We realize that the whole town of Albuquerque pretty much knows that this guy's Heisenberg and he's on the run. A once innocent man. Oh my god, it's insane how someone can break bad. That's the point of the show. Observing a group of teenagers using his empty pool to skateboard, he retrieves the hidden vial of ricin from his bedroom. So, that also shows that he's not going to use that ricin anytime soon. That's a little touch that they give us. A lot of hints. It doesn't spoil this show, but it just gives us hints. He's moving out of the house. People have graffitied it. People know that he's Heisenberg a year later, and he never uses the rice, and he doesn't kill that many more people. So yeah, at least he doesn't kill people with ricin. He might kill people later on. We never know. As he leaves, he greets his former neighbor Carol, who is terrified by his presence. Oh my god, there was such a fucking awesome, parallel they showed. I think it was honestly the very first scene of, the normal show when they get past the credits. Or the theme song, whatever you want to call it. It's insane. It's so fucking cool. I love that the director did this. So, the very first scene, they're pretty much walking, he's like, "Hi, Carol," and she's, very friendly and saying hi. And in the beginning, she's drops her bag of groceries. She sees him. Her mouth is her jaw is on the floor. I mean, it's insane to see what a bad person he became and what his neighbors think of him now that they know he's Heisenberg. So, in the present, Hank Schrader reels from fighting Gail Bediger's handwritten dedication to Walt's copy of Leaves of Grass. So, he knows that Walter is Heisenberg now. And this is the episode where he goes after him. You see the picture right here. I'm not going to really say much more about that. But realizing that his brother-in-law was Heisenberg all along, right under his nose, Hank states that he is feeling unwell to excuse himself and his wife Marie from the party at Walt's house. So he's looking out the window very eerily. He's I got him right where I want him. I know he did this, but at what cost? He's already wreaked havoc. So he's kind of looking out the window. He's oh my fucking goodness, I can't believe my brother-in-law did this. We gotta go. He can't stand being near him ever again. I mean, he feels so ashamed to be a part of this guy's family. The episode I watched today is crazy, by the way. While driving home, Hank suffers a panic attack and swerves off the road into a yard. So this is taking a toll on him. Walt being Heisenberg is taking a toll on Hank. Like, he's feeling so many different emotions right now. Disappointment, anger, anxiety. I mean, he's thinking of, like, so many thoughts are probably flying through his head at this point as he's just panics and drives off the road. Feigning illness to work from home, Hank reviews the DEA's case files on Heisenberg and Gus Fring, linking people, events, and circumstances, as well as matching the handwriting in the Leaves of Grass dedication with that in Gale's lab notebook to confirm that Waltz is Heisenberg. So he's kind of making some confirmation. There's this like time plot of him, making the evidence board with like the lines drawn towards each other. He's making like a crime board to kind of dive even deeper, like without going to work, because he was instructed by his boss that if he goes to work and starts working on cases, he's going to get fired. So he's using this illness as an excuse to stay home. This illness, even though it was just a panic episode, it's very normal for Hank. He's getting late in life. He is he's like facing the repercussions of being a DEA agent and the stress that comes with it. So he's using this excuse to kind of stay at home and gather info and hone in on Walter because he knows that's his target and he knows he is guilty of doing that. Walt, who has left the meth business, discovers with Skyler ways to expand their car wash business and launder his drug money faster. So they have all this money kind of sitting in the storage unit, and Walter's like, Skyler, we need to buy more car washes. And it's a cover-up. Even though Hank knows about him being Heisenberg, he's like, look, we can cover it up to the public, we can buy a bunch of different car washes, and that'll be our way to just spend our money, so it doesn't look like we're doing fucking drugs and like selling the shit, and it doesn't look like we got money out of nowhere. Lydia shows up at the car wash looking distressed and pleads for Walt's help, saying the quality of the meth since his retirement has fallen below acceptable standards, jeopardizing their deal. So Walt is kind of retired from the drug game, and one of his cohorts, Lydia, of course, who has played a really big role in this season, and I'm happy that the creators and the director did this. She's a pretty big character in this season, and she appears in every episode in some big way. Not in a big way, not in the main story way, but she definitely plays a role, and it's awesome. There's a couple of characters like that. So yeah, she's like, Walt, we need you back. Like, our meth is fucking terrible. We have terrible cooking conditions. We're selling to the damn Czech Republic, for crying out loud. It's a foreign country. We have to have high standards. Walt dismisses her, and Skyler firmly warns her never to come back, and I like that Skyler does this, because the more Lydia comes back, the more people kind of get suspicious that there's something going on behind closed doors with Walt. So Skyler is like, get the fuck out of here, do not come back. My husband is done, leave him alone, please. We have a car wash to run, we are supposed to be looking like normal citizens, yeah. It is later revealed that Walt's cancer has returned, which is kind of fucking crazy, because with like the last 6-7 episodes left in the series, we know what this means. Walt is probably going to die at the end of this series, and that's kind of my prediction, is Walt is going to die at the end of the season. I think so. I cannot wait to see how this unfolds, though. He keeps this from his family and undergoes chemotherapy again, so we're kind of on this vicious cycle of Walt hiding stuff and being a little too prideful to tell his family about things. Like in the beginning of the show, it's like we're restarting the show at this point. It's kind of insane. But instead, he's already in hot water before he even starts again. Meanwhile, Jesse Pinkman feels guilty over his role in Walt's meth business and is particularly distraught over the deaths of Drew Sharp, and he assumes Mike Ehrmantraut. He doesn't know for a fact that Mike Ehrmantraut is dead, but hasn't gotten any connections with Mike, and he's sure that Mike would have contacted him if he was alive, which he probably would. They were really big friends in Gus's business. Yeah. Jesse is just a guilty man. He's not this terrible person. Like, he's not Heisenberg. At the beginning of the show, they did a really good job at this. So, like, Jesse's a fucking delinquent kid that's just, like, in a meth business. But all this time, he's never really been a mastermind of an operation. He's just been kind of along for the ride. He's just been young and dumb. And now we realize that he's human. He's matured. He's become a man. And he's not, like, this fucking monster that, like, Heisenberg or Gus Fring were. He gives all the money he received from Walt to Saul Goodman and asks him to deliver half to Mike's granddaughter and the other half to Drew's parents. Well, my thing is if they do this, Well, people are going to be on Saul's ass. He can't deliver the money because he's been involved with Mike Ehrmantraut at one point in the show and in time. And also, if you deliver the money to Kaylee Ehrmantraut, there's an offshore bank account with her name in it still. They're going to have that registered. They have that registered still. They're using it as evidence. And if she gets more money, she's going to know that either Jesse Pinkman or Saul Goodman or they're going to know that Jesse Pinkman's involved with Mike. Or they were. Other half to Drew's parents. Giving it to the parents is a good idea, but I think Kaylee Ehrmantraut should not get any money. Saul refuses, advising it would raise suspicions, and reports this to Walt, who visits Jesse to return his money. He's like, give me the money back. If you're going to try to get us in trouble, just give me it back. Walt lies to Jesse, telling him that Mike is probably still alive and does not need help taking care of his granddaughter. Just a sick fuck is this Heisenberg guy, am I right? Just lying to Jesse straight to his face is like, Jesse's still distressed and later gives a $10,000 bundle to a homeless man. So he's feeling like a good person. He's feeling like he needs to stop being evil. He needs to give back to the society instead of continuing to take away from it. He then drives through a neighborhood throwing bundles of cash onto front lawns. Which leads... Oh my god. I don't know why he did this. This was a fucking... Like, looking back after watching the 10th episode, this was a fucking terrible idea on Jesse's part. And you will find out about that tomorrow when I review it. In his bathroom, Walt finds his copy of Leaves of Grass missing. So he knows. He's like, oh my god, Hank got a hand on my book, and I'm in trouble. Alarmed by the coincidental timing of Hank's apparent illness, his suspicions are deepened when he discovers a GPS tracker on his car that is identical to the one Hank used while attempting to track Gus Fring. So now Walt is like, yep, he's on my ass. He's tracking my car. He's got evidence that I did something bad. I'm in trouble. He shows up at Hank's garage and eventually asks about the tracker. An enraged Hank punches Walt and accuses him of being Heisenberg, which Walt neither confirms nor denies. He's like, I don't know. He's pretty much like, I don't know, Hank. You're going to have to find out for yourself. I'm not going to openly admit. I'm not going to openly deny that I am Heisenberg. Yeah. Hank is off the deep end.